And you're now listening to Talking Famous.
Hey guys, we are back with TLK Infamous. I got socially here myself, Saint, and T Devon, who is currently out the office, but don't worry, she will be back soon. So we got this new hot topic, tweet of the day, and we're going to talk about some relevant information that was discussed all over social media this week. Saint, you want to lead us off with the tweet of the day?
Yes, so the tweet of the day is Monique's story being consistent. Period.
Right. Who was the interviewee? Do you know?
TJ Madison. I love TJ Madison. Yeah.
All right, so TJ Madison, all right, saying you know your stuff. And pretty much Monique was just telling her story about everything that happened since the time that she did Precious up until 2022 and how it has impacted her career. And so the elements in her story that she was saying, a lot of people was making these tweets, and that was the tweet that Saint happened to come across.
All right. First, I want to lead off by saying T.S. Madison. My fault. I know it was Madison though, so don't judge me. But pretty much, I've been following this story for a long time since, the whole Netflix shenanigans when she was like cancel Netflix, and everybody was like clowning her. Like I remember everyone's clowning her, and at some point, I remember, I fell into the trap. Social media has a way of swaying you. But me, I have a mind of my own, so I was like, I gotta explore where exactly is this coming from. And I think a couple months later, or within that same week, um, Breakfast Club had gave her Donkey of the Month for what she said. So then she decided to schedule an interview with Breakfast Club and come up there herself and explain the situation. And that was the first time where I actually heard the story in full. So I remember, the story being told, and I think a lot of people picked up. I was one of those people who picked up on it, and I think some of the blogs picked it up as well. And I've seen people's perspective change. But recently, I don't know, understand why it came out about
Wait.
again.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Because you move a little fast. I want to make sure all the viewers
more
know
facts.
what exactly what happened. So she
Yeah.
had a special, and Netflix was trying to lowball her, and so she got
Yes.
tight and asked for more, and people was like, "Well, you're not relevant right now," and then that whole fiasco kind of died down, and so Satan's about to tell us what happened recently.
Yeah, and basically they was kind of lowball her because also, her case is that she's a black woman because also at the time, um, Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, who are kind of like her counterparts within, the black comedy space, were getting paid like double digits in a million. And then also Amy Schumer, a white comedian who was just up and coming, was getting paid just as much as Dave Chappelle, a little bit more than Dave Chappelle. So her stories was coming from like this is about a systematic issue against black women. So like again, so she fast forward, T.S. Madison, interviews her again, and the story is kind of being rehashed, and it's kind of in a different way from the last time. Um, and I'm just happy to see that a lot more people are paying attention to it.
Right. So we're gonna play a little snippet of it. All right. So just stay tuned. The interview was way longer than the snippet, but I just want y'all to hear a little just, and then if y'all want to hear more, y'all can go to what's the co-host the hoster.
T.S. Madison, just look up on YouTube and put in Monique. You should definitely find it.
Right.
I have no contract with Lionsgate. I have no contract with you, with Oprah. The only person I had a contract with was Lee Daniels.
Right.
And I fulfilled my contract. Now, if anybody else wants me to do anything else, there's a price to that because what we're not in is slavery. So what I cannot do is work for y'all for free. So Tyler Perry says, well, I think outside the box, and I'm not scared of them white boys, so, I'm just trying to tell you for your own good. Well, if you think outside the box, and you're not scared of those white boys, why are you trying to tell me to do something that I'm not contractually obligated to do? So then I said, well, listen, I don't care where the money comes from.
Pay me.
I don't care where the money comes from. He said, well, I'm not in the business of writing checks for free. I said, and I'm not in the business for working for free. So we have a mutual agreement. No problem. We got up, we hugged, everything is good. When they knew that I was not going to be the actress or be the one that say, because it's them, I got to do it. No, I don't care who it is. That's not fair for you to want me to work for free just because it's you. So now here comes the blackball.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Now here comes, she's difficult to work with. Her and her husband, they are difficult. They are these difficult people. So now nobody's going to touch Monique because Oprah Winfrey said nothing. Though there was a conversation that she had with my husband and she agreed with the position that was being taken. So when it hit that I was difficult, she stayed quiet and said nothing. When we find out that Tyler Perry has actually told another director named David Talbert how difficult I was to work with, and David Talbert told Tyler Perry, he said Monique was a joy.
All right, so I know y'all probably have a few thoughts on that, but pretty much what happened is that Lee Daniels did a project with Monique for the movie Precious. They offered her $50,000. $50,000 is a little low. So even in the
Yes.
interview, she kind of emphasized that it was an independent film. So she was like, you know what? Why not? It's an independent film. I could do it for 50K.
And it's my friend.
It's her friend, so she was doing it as a favor, but also it was a project that she wanted to be a part of. Cool.
Right.
So then, once a lot of people start hearing about it, like, oh, this movie's actually really good, it starts going to Sundance, Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry decided to hop on the project as executive producer. Mind you, when they hopped on the project, the movie was already done. This was just for campaigning. This was just so they can add it to their portfolios, add more money to the pockets for campaign and promoing. And so pretty much what happened was they called her and was like, hey, we need you to campaign, we need you to come do promos. And Monica's like, listen, I did my due diligence, I did my duty, I'm clocked out. I'm in bed eating chips with my kid, watching Curious George. I'm not going anywhere. And
So also what happened was at some point, she kept on getting these calls and kept on getting these calls, and she decided, you know what? All right, I'll do it, but I got to get paid.
right.
Because she said, right now I'm at a stage of my life where my priorities on my kids. I already did the Hollywood stuff. I did my part, and I'm happy with my performance. And they're like, no, we got a campaign. We got to get a campaign because, if you get an Oscar, first you got a campaign. Like, people don't understand within the industry, even though the film is hot, you do have to do a lot of campaigning, and it's kind of like politics.
Right.
So, they do expect the actors and actresses, to make room around Hollywood and, vouch about the movie. But, Monique is like, yo, I'm a vet in this game. I'm tired. I just did the project as a passion project. I'm loving all the feedback it's getting. That's it. But they like, we'll pay you at some point. And
Tyler Perry made this whole spectacle. Like, even before that,
Yeah.
before she even asked for money, when she had went and spoke to Tyler Perry in person, he was a little theatrical. He clapped his fingers. Everybody left, and
Yeah.
except the security, she was like, "Oh no, you work for me. You're not leaving when Tyler Perry say jump.
Smart
That's not how
move.
that works." Which I get it too, because I just feel like with Tyler Perry, he's a big director, producer, even actor, and he expect people to jump when he say jump. But can I just say something? Now,
Yes.
in terms of Oprah Winfrey and Monique, they've been in the game for a while. I would say Oprah Winfrey been known with the white people, but when it comes to Monique been incredible. Like, people loved her, definitely in the black community. She had a voice. This was before even Tyler
Right.
Perry was kind of known on the market. She was known as a comedian. And so for you to try to be like, well, we're not going to pay you, how you expect her to work for free and then you're not going to pay her, but then ask her to campaign? That doesn't make no sense. And Tyler Perry, you are a
And it,
millionaire. Oprah Winfrey, you
yeah.
are a millionaire. She was already paid a lowball amount for 50K. Y'all already making millions on this movie because it went to the box office and
And also,
it exceeded numbers. So I don't understand why you can't pay her a little paycheck for what she's doing after the movie's done. But continue.
and I think that's what it boils down to, because I think because we know where the situation came from. The situation came from exactly like the people who not want to pay are the people up in power, like the
Right.
people who are like, right. So, but Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry being in the position that they are in, knowing that she is a black woman, not only is she a black woman, but she's also a black woman, like she said, who wasn't signed to an agency. So it doesn't matter how successful the show is doing, the movie is doing, and if she get an Oscar and stuff like that. Tyler Perry mentioned to her, like, if you get an Oscar, you could be worth up to 5 to 8 million if if this goes well. But she said, me as a black woman, especially, I'm not signed to an agent, I'm not signed to you, I'm not signed to Oprah, I'm not signed to Paramore. Paramount, that doesn't mean shit.
Right. And it was all talk. If
And
you saying that
they,
you can't pay me to campaign, that didn't add up for me.
that's what I'm saying. They should have paid her because of the position that they hold and the wealth that they have, or they should have been on her side and negotiated that from the jump.
And then on top of that, what really, really irked me, like I said, she was doing a Monique show. She had the Queens of Comedy. She had a lot of different
Yeah,
stuff going on. So it wasn't like she was just some up and coming artist or some artist that kind of disappeared in the scenes. She was always relevant in the Black community. And so even if she is a Black woman, you still gotta respect her worth, regardless of
right.
her color, her gender. She still put out the work and did her due diligence. She was a funny, like no cap. Even listen, I don't want to be biased, right? But I will say,
Mhm.
Medea, all the stuff that Medea does, Monique was been doing. Monique was that aunt. She told
Yeah,
you
it's a character.
she was the
Yeah,
character. She was gonna let you
character.
know she was genuine. That was her swag. That was her. So, but you know,
I feel like I feel like this story is a deeper issue about
it is. It is. Mm-hmm.
the systematic treatment of Black women, especially in spaces when it comes to business, their careers and getting their bag. Like people be trying to dead stop them from getting their fucking bag. And I'm happy that she's speaking up about it because she is easy, like they said, like the tweet said, she's been consistent with her story. She's not letting up. She's sticking to what she said,
Right.
and the way she is telling it is from a space. You could, when you hear her talk, you could tell like she's speaking from a place of integrity,
Integrity.
of
Yep.
truth, and like I want us to be better. Like this right here is not cool, and I'm letting people know this right here, like on a real, because I'm all about this Hollywood shit, and I'm not gonna fake and smile because it doesn't change anything. So I like that she's standing behind what she says.
And also too, 100% that. But also, I would say people in the blogs was gonna say the audacity. She know what Hollywood is. This is how Hollywood
Yeah, I
do.
hate that.
That does not matter. At the end of the day, she brought up an important point. A lot of voices do not get heard of the injustices that they are dealt with in the industry, whether it comes to music,
Mm-hmm.
entertainment, until they are dead. She brought up Earth the Kid. She brought up a few other
Mm-hmm.
people that I was like, yo, like you know what? She's talking about the bigger picture. And even when she was handling the media, I think a few years ago, I'm lying, like less than 2 years ago, she even did an interview with Steve Harvey, and she still was not letting go. She was like, "No, I'm gonna speak up." And Steve Harvey was like, "No, no, you know how this go. You know, there's a certain extent of the way you gotta talk as a politics." She's like,
Yeah,
"No, at the end of the day, I'm gonna speak my voice. And I'm gonna speak my truth." And I 100% agree with her.
and that was actually in correlation to a couple years ago with that. Yeah, that was correlation to the
Okay.
situation. So with that being said, I really do hope that, I want this story to continue. Like I don't want this to just be the end. I don't want this to be hype people are just gassing her and, giving her flowers. I want this to be justice done, and I want, Tyler Perry and Oprah to be held accountable, or, speak up and actually say something. Don't shy away. Don't shy away from the conversation, because this is an important conversation that needs to be had. And I really hope that it continues. I want to hear more of this story. I don't want this to fade away.
Well, listen, we're gonna keep y'all in tune. We're gonna keep it short and sweet. But I just wanted to let people know that let Monique know as well. We on her side with this
Yes,
one, all right? It ain't going nowhere.
yes. Free Monique. No, no, not free Monique. Stand by Monique.
Yes, free Monique from this black boat, okay? But listen, Monique, if you come out with any other projects, we're gonna be watching you. As you would say, hey babies. Join us next time for TLK Infamous. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and any other platform that we on, all right? More to come. Peace.